Another example of an issue where if I had said to you a year ago, you're going to go public eventually, but it's going to happen in the middle of the pandemic, you might not have imagined the kind of demand that we're seeing, not just for your company, but for others in the same space.
Yeah, no, it's been an amazing ride. And doing this virtually has been crazy. You think about, going on a roadshow and meeting investors and seeing them face to face. Having gone through this just all virtual, met a lot of great people, a lot of great investors, really excited to be here and kind of what the future holds.
Do you think, when we talk so much about the pandemic accelerating existing trends in digital, do you think that fairly applies to what's happened in online insurance?
Yeah, you think about it. We deal in the senior Medicare population who are more vulnerable to COVID. And, those people are now using platforms like us and finding and researching and shopping for their plans online and over the phone out of the safety of their house. So I think that's accelerated what we're seeing, especially with stay-at-home orders happening and people being told to stay put. We've seen a nice surge and increase in activity on our platform, and we're here to help them.
And Clint, you mentioned in the S1 that changes in regulations around COVID and the pandemic could go either way for you. Could be, drive attention, but also could slow your progress. Are you seeing any signs of potential barriers arising for you?
Yeah, so the only thing we're seeing, we're hiring in the process of hiring 1,000 people, which, you think about the unemployment rates today, getting access to a lot, of great talent that are sitting on the sidelines looking for jobs. As the states have been shut down, we have to get all of our licensed agents through a process to get them an insurance license in the states they're in. So we've seen as states slow down that process as they have stopped, licensing agents, which is a challenge. So as states open up, we're getting more of those people through the process, which is good.
And training on the platform, is that an issue when you got to do it distanced? Have you had to change how you do that or adjust how you do it in order to maintain momentum?
Yeah, you think about it. We were all located in physical offices. In 72 hours in March, we were able to go all virtual. So, training virtual, hiring virtual. You think about onboarding employees where you go through a completely virtual interview process where they never get to meet anybody face to face. So we've had to come up with unique ways to, get them on board after their interview, get them trained, get them part of the culture, and maintain that momentum. So we've found really creative ways to do that. And I think that, unfortunately, this is kind of where we sit. This is probably a little bit of the norm as we move forward. So our plans are continue to work virtually. And, we're actually excited. We're seeing a lot of productivity, a lot of increases in productivity from where we were in the office. So we think as things move forward, there's an opportunity to kind of continue to accelerate and, continue to build the culture as we've done in the past.
Yeah, it's amazing the idea of having more productivity as everyone works from home. A question is, you talk about, building momentum. Obviously, you want to continue to get more customers onto your service. But what are other ways you can grow going forward? Is it more services, getting more providers as well?
Yeah, so you think about it. We get paid for everybody we help enroll in a Medicare plan. So we're getting into additional services kind of downstream after they've been enrolled, really understanding who they are. So we can perform health risk assessments. And if we identify a population that has chronic conditions, help them partner with our carriers to get them in a preventative care model quicker. We can lower hospital admission rates, ultimately saving money in the system, providing better outcomes for the health of the consumer. So programs like that are really key as we extend our business and get a tighter kind of relationship with the customer and our carriers.
When you survey the landscape of potential policy changes in healthcare, whether it's under this administration or the next, lowering the Medicare age, a public option to those over 65. What do you see as most likely, and what would be the impact of that?
Yep, great question. So, both Republicans and Democrats are favored for Medicare Advantage, which we don't see a massive change there. I think where the healthcare debate is going to be in the election is really around the Obamacare under 65 world, which it's a much smaller portion of our business. Biden has come out and said, hey, we may look at reducing the Medicare buy-in age to 60, which would obviously be a really strong thing for us. We can help those folks enroll in Medicare. So that's how we're playing the game where we sit today, and we're going to focus on completing our journey and our mission for where the ball is today.
And Clint, I know that you have relied on AWS as well as Rackspace for your infrastructure. I wonder, as you're seeing increased traffic and going forward, are you going to increase one more than the other? How does your cloud infrastructure strategy play into your growth expectations?
Yep, it's a great question. So everything we do at this point is in the cloud. You think about, all the virtual employees, all the activity, all our applications, everything's in the cloud. So both areas are performing. Obviously, AWS and Rackspace have been really strong and great partners for us for years, and we're going to continue scaling those up. We envision as we grow, we'll be hiring more at a nationwide level, all virtual, as we bring employees in, which is critical for the success of our company. So, obviously, we've gotten to where we are with a lot of the technology we've invested in, and we'll continue to invest in the cloud. And, we see that as a huge opportunity as we go forward.
Finally, Clint, do I have this right? You've been CEO since almost 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a long, fun run. Actually, a college friend of mine and I started the business about a year out of school, and we've been running it ever since. So it's been a great journey. I think today marks just a testament to our team who's gotten us here along the way. I couldn't be more proud of what we've accomplished with them. And this is just another stepping stone in the journey we've been on.
And we've got to go, but really quick, I wonder, in those 2 decades, was there a point at which you thought you might go public and then backed off?
We've kind of had steady growth. We've maintained a 52% compound annual growth rate since inception. And we just looked at different journeys along the way. This seemed to be the right time to do it. And we've got a ton of momentum, very large growth. We had 140% growth in revenue last year. You think about consumers switching buyer behaviors, especially during COVID, and buying more online and interacting that way. We just saw a tremendous opportunity to go out and access additional capital as we grow. And we've got our strong organic growth plans for the future, and this gives us another diversified investor base to help us get there.